surrounding the Golden Gate State disappear. Phyllis, Phyllis, who makes the warning bells on the cable cars play, the gangs all hear. Phyllis, Phyllis, who charms the crabs on fishermen's wharf right out of their shells, who lights the lamps of Chinatown just by walking in view. Phyllis, 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 it sure isn't you.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Julie. Oh, hiya, Beth.
Hi, Mrs. Lindstrom.
Julie, I'd like you to meet Ralph Wicker.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Erskine.
Ralph's a student at San Francisco State.
Yeah.
Oh, do you like it?
Oh, yes, it's a fine institution, rich in tradition, yet looking forward to a future filled with promise. I'm proud to be a part of it.
God bless America.
Mom, I just dropped by to tell you that...
Oh, to ask you, Mrs. Lindstrom, if it would be all right with you if Bess and I extended our date through dinner tonight.
Sure, that would be fine. Thank you for asking.
Well, I always consult my date's parents about such decisions.
If there were more young men like you, there would be no wars.
Thank you.
Let's go, Ralph.
Pleasure meeting you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Mrs. Lindstrom.
Bye.
Bess, have you ever seen your mother look lovelier?
Something about that boy I like. All right, Audrey, you can relax. I think we're finished.
Oh, good.
Well, you were a wonderful model.
Oh, it's very nice, Phyllis. But you know, I think perhaps I should have worn the other earrings.
Oh, dear. Phyllis?
Oh, Jonathan.
Jonathan, come and see my bust.
Now, dear?
Come and look. Phyllis has done a sculpture of me.
Yes, so she has.
It's just a small statue I've done for my art class. What do you think?
Phyllis, I have to confess, you're as talented as you are lovely.
Don't you listen to him, dear. You're very talented.
And I'll be in my study.
Hi, Jonathan.
Oh, Bess.
Hi.
Hello, Frank.
Ralph.
Hello, Ralph.
Hi. Hi, Mrs. Lindstrom.
Hi, Ralph.
Wow, did you do this?
Yes, I did, with my own two hands.
This is very, very good. You have real artistic ability. I mean it. You should be in a museum.
She looks much younger with makeup. Well, I think I'd better go upstairs and get dressed.
Well, I've got a lot of studying to do. Thanks for the lift, Ralph.
Oh, say, Bess, I got tickets for a play tomorrow night. You know the one that just opened, Time and Tide?
I'm sorry, Ralph. I can't make it.
Well, why?
I have another date.
Another date? You mean with a guy?
So he claims.
Bess, I thought you and I had something going.
Maybe we could discuss this some other time.
Oh, no, that's all right. I'm not busy.
I just don't see how you can still be going out with other guys.
I never told you I wouldn't go out with other guys.
Yeah, but I just assumed
Look,
that when
Ralph, I really think this is something that should be discussed in private.
Of course. You're absolutely right. Audrey, would you mind not coming down for a few minutes? We're discussing something in private. Now, where were we?
Phyllis.
Oh, I'll be in the kitchen if anybody needs me.
Ralph, I'm just not ready for a serious relationship right now.
Well, neither am I. I just want you to see me and nobody else. Just for a couple of years. Does that sound serious to you?
I'm just not interested in that sort of thing right now.
Well, that's the only sort of thing I am interested in. So you better make up your mind. I'm not leaving until you give me an answer.
Goodbye, Ralph.
So what's your answer?
You and Bess are having a little tiff, aren't you? I couldn't help overhearing.
It's more than just a tiff. She dumped me.
Women, I know, are not always easy creatures to understand. I'm sure everything will work out all right.
I don't think so.
Oh, Ralph. Come on, dear, cheer up. You're a very attractive young man. I'm sure there are any number of young ladies who would be delighted to go with you to the play tomorrow night. Time and Tide. Isn't that the one about the man who finds his wife is having an affair with a sea turtle?
Yeah, it's an allegory concerning man striving for immortality while trying to deal with the meaninglessness of life and the certainty of death.
Are there any good songs? Ah, Ralph.
Mrs. Lindstrom, would you, by any chance, care to go to the play with me?
That's very nice of you to ask, Ralph, but I don't know. After all, I mean, I'm old enough to be your sister.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, why would a woman like you want to go out with a worthless nobody like me?
Ralph, I would be delighted to go out with a worthless nobody like you.
You mean that, Mrs. Lindstrom?
Why not? It's not as if we're going out on a date or anything.
Right.
I mean, it's just two people attending a play together.
Yeah.
It certainly couldn't be considered a date.
Great, I'll pick you up at 7.
It's a date.
What's that?
Oh, it's a sculpture I'm doing, yes, a project for an art class.
What's it supposed to be?
It's a woman reaching out toward the stars in a gesture of hope and affirmation. I call it Winged Spirit.
It looks like a big cow pie.
So I sacked the quarterback on the 12, and the game was over. So we won that game, but next week was a different story. Let me lead you into some of the events leading up to that game. Monday, 8 a.m.
Jack, it's getting kind of late.
Ah, don't worry about it. Coach says I can stay up as late as I want in the off-season.
Coach is a heck of a guy.
Yeah, he's tough, but he's fair. Come here, I'll show you a picture of him.
Jack served to establish the allegorical aspects of the work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, Beth.
Hi, Mom. Ralph?
Good evening, Bess.
Did you want to see me, Ralph?
No, your mother and I were to play. The one I asked you to last night? The one you couldn't go to because you said you were busy?
Ralph and I wanted to see it, so we went together.
Mm-hmm. And Saturday we're going to an art exhibit. They're having a show of cubists.
Well, I don't care for Cubists myself, ever since Castro took over.
And next week, Ralph is taking me to the ballet.
You know, I consider that the most graceful of the arts.
I ain't that darling.
Beth, are you going to introduce us?
Sure. Jack Turner, this is Ralph Wicker, and this is my mother, his date.
This isn't a date, Beth.
Whatever it is incredibly embarrassing. I can't believe you could be so foolish.
Excuse me, Bess, but I don't think you should be talking like that to your mother.
Hey, why don't you just stay out of this?
Beth, I don't understand what you're getting upset about.
I just feel ridiculous seeing my mother dating a guy I used to date.
Bess, I think you're purposely failing to understand your mother's position.
Yeah, I thought I told you to butt out of this.
Why don't you go out and tackle a truck or something?
Hey, well, why don't you put on a tutu, sweetheart?
Gentlemen, please.
Come on, you guys.
I mean, I don't see how you can criticize your mother when you show up with Gorilla Gus here.
Is that a cut?
You can go home now. Your cage is clean.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was a cut. One more like that, Buster, and I'll remodel your face.
Stop this now.
Jack, calm down.
Him want a banana?
Oh, that's it, Will.
Mrs. Lindstrom.
Are you all right? I never decked a broad before. Jeez, I'm really sorry.
Guess I just let my guard down.
What happened?
Jack punched Phyllis.
Why can't you pick on someone your own size?
okay, Mother. I'm sorry about the fight, and I'm sorry you got hit.
Well, Bess, it takes a big person to admit she's wrong.
I didn't say I was wrong. Okay. Maybe I was wrong to get so upset. It's just that in all the time I was dating Ralph, I never thought of him as a potential daddy. Phyllis, what could you two possibly have in common?
We have similar tastes in art, in music, in literature, in theater. I find him an intelligent and refined young man.
Mom, I just don't want you to get hurt. I know Ralph better than you do, and I think I see what he's trying to do.
What do you mean?
Ralph is using you to get to me.
Yeah, I can't believe this. You actually think a man is spending his time with a charming, sensitive, lovely person like myself just to get at you. That is the most egotistical thing I have ever heard.
Mom, why else would he be going out with you?
Because, Bess, you see, he is seeking the sophistication and the wisdom of a woman who has lived.
And lived and lived and lived.
So we're stooping to insults, are we? Very well, if that's the level on which you wish to conduct this discussion, so be it. The gloves are off. I have traded and jousted verbal insults with the best of them. Insults you want, insults you shall have. Your mother has a mustache. And there's more where that came from.
I just cannot sit by and see my mother make a fool of herself.
Oh, Bess, come on. You're just jealous. You want him for yourself.
What are you talking about? I am the one who broke up with him.
Well, you don't miss the water till the well runs dry.
Phyllis, you made me want to scream.
You are screaming.
Will you two put a cork in it?
Sorry, Mother Dexter. Did we wake you?
Yes, you did. And right in the middle of the most beautiful dream I ever had. I was dancing with Charles Bronson. Stripped to the waist. And he was too.
We're really sorry, Mother Dexter. We'll try and hold it down.
Well, see that you do.
Come on, Mom. Why don't you stop seeing Ralph? He's just manipulating you. Ralph is a phony.
Oh, I see. The vast experience of your 17 years makes you a perfect judge of human nature. Well, I have been a human a bit longer than you, and I have the maturity and the experience to make my own judgments. And I can see them if I want to.
Okay. If you insist on continuing with this, in spite of what I've told you, that's up to you. You'll just have to learn about guys like Ralph for yourself. But someday, you're going to see I know what I'm talking about. And you'll wish you listened to your daughter.
Well, Julie, it's time for me to be moving on to my new job.
I'll see you.
Hey, Julie, let's make it a clean break. Let's not have any tear-filled scenes. Let me leave the way I came, silently and quickly.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, well, it's that time. Guess I'll be moving on down the line, rolling out, heading for greener pastures.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll be taking off. Going on my way, hitting the road. Looking for new horizons and leaving the past behind.
It's been nice working with you, Leah.
Well, if you're going to get mushy, I'll stay.
What about your job with the magazine?
Julie, how can I leave, knowing it's tearing you apart? Phyllis!
Leah?
Well, I'm not leaving.
You're not?
Julie sweet-talked me out of it.
Kind of a long lunch hour, Phyllis.
Yo, I'm sorry. I had a lot of thinking to do. I just lost the sense of time.
Oh, what's the problem, Phyllis?
Bess broke up with her boyfriend. A really nice boy.
Yeah?
And anyway, he asked me to go to the theater with him, and I did, and it's created some problems.
How old is the boy?
Oh, age has nothing to do with it.
That young, huh? You know what they say, nothing keeps an old fire going like new logs.
That has nothing to do with it. It's purely platonic. Ralph has told me the reason he sees me is because he appreciates my aesthetic sensitivity, my savoir-vivre, my modus vivendi.
She fell for the old modus vivendi line.
Leo, go to lunch. If you're going to have your mouth open, you might as well be doing something constructive with it.
Right, Julie? Oh, I'm glad I'm staying on.
That makes one of us.
Julie, answer me honestly. Do you think I could be used by someone and not realize it? Am I that foolish, that gullible, that dumb? Wish you hadn't said that. All right, it's possible. Then the problem arises, how to ascertain if that is actually the case. Wait a minute. It shouldn't be hard for an adult woman like myself to draw the truth out of that mere boy. Am I not at least that perceptive, that intuitive, that wise? Don't you ever shut up. What a lovely evening.
Opera's so inspiring. All those unhappy people with all kinds of terrible problems, and they just keep singing away. Oh, that one woman was singing even as she was being stabbed to death. Oh, I hope when my time comes that I can leave with that kind of spirit.
Well, thank you, Phyllis and Ralph, for asking us along.
You're quite welcome.
Come along, Mother, past your bedtime.
Just a minute. I've got something I want to say to the young man. Come here, kid. You used to date Bess, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, now you're dating her.
Well, sort of.
Well, if you think you're ready now for the pros, forget it. You're not in my league.
Good night.
Good night, Frank.
Ralph.
Well, how do you feel about your first opera?
Oh, Mrs. Lindstrom, tonight has opened up a whole new world for me. I feel opera is one of the most meaningful uses of the human voice. It's such a beautiful expression.
Excuse me, Ralph, but before we go on with our discussion of the opera, I have something important to tell you.
Oh, what's that, Mrs. Lindstrom?
I know what you're up to.
I beg your pardon?
You're a very clever young man, Ralph Wicker.
Excuse me?
Ralph, it's okay. What's a little white lie between friends? I must say, you had me going there for a while.
Mrs. Lindstrom, I don't know what
Ralph, don't keep up the pretense any longer. Why don't you just come right out and tell me what you really wanted from me?
I don't know what you mean.
Ralph.
I don't.
Ralph.
Okay, I do. I know what you mean.
I thought so, you rascal. You didn't really want to go to the opera with me tonight, did you?
Oh, it bored the hell out of me.
All evening, you really wanted to be somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, you can say that again.
You two-faced lying phony.
What?
You lied to me. Bess was right. You were lying all along.
Yeah, I guess I was.
You were exploiting our relationship.
Yeah, I guess I was doing that, too.
You were taking advantage of my feelings.
Yeah, I was, and I'm really sorry, Mrs.
Oh, in a
Lindstrom.
sneaky attempt to win Bess.
Bess, it's you I want.
You? Who?
I know this is a stupid thing to say, but you're a very attractive woman.
Oh. Well, that's not all that stupid, Ralph.
I know there's a big difference in our ages, but I think we can make a go of it.
Ralph.
You don't know what it's been like being close to you day after day and restraining myself from touching you, Mrs. Lindstrom.
Ralph, are you crazy?
If I'm crazy, it's because you make me crazy. Oh, Mrs. Lindstrom.
Ralph!
Phyllis.
Mrs. Lindstrom!
I must have you.
Oh, you mustn't either. Get out of here, you sick, slimy, sleazy, disgusting animal!
Oh, I love it when you talk dirty.
Get out of here, and no Don't you ever come back.
I'm sorry.
I should think you should be, you scum. Still say the kid's got taste. Hello, Beth.
Hi, Mom. How did Ralph like the opera?
He told me he hated it. In fact, he told me a lot of things. He even told me why he's been seeing me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. There was one time I almost wish I'd been wrong.
Oh, Bess, you were wrong. It seems that Ralph had a physical infatuation with me.
Oh, come on.
You don't believe me? All right. I'll just prove it to you. Don't you go away. Yes, hello, Ralph. This is Mrs. Lindstrom. So listen, Ralph, perhaps I was a little hasty earlier this evening. Would you mind going over those reasons for seeing me again? Yes, You animal. You're vile. You're disgusting. Sorry I woke you. Good night, Bess.
You're watching ALN. Here's what's coming next.